Welcome. You're with the Nasty Fast, and I'm back with another chapter read from out of Exodus. Yes, from out of Exodus. This is the second book that Moses was inspired to write. You know what I mean? This book talks about the departure. This book really it shows you a man, a God that gave his life to the demiurge. You feel what I'm saying? And follow the demiurge commandments and continue the covenant that was placed upon his family bloodline. You feel what I'm saying? And at a time in his life, he gave up something very precious, something very monumental for his people. He made a sacrifice most don't make. You feel what I'm saying? And in today's time, if I really want to explain it to you, where that you can understand the sacrifice he made, we're talking about a gazillion. We know a zillion dollars is real. You feel what I'm saying? That's real currency. A zillion dollars. There's a you know what I mean? It go millions, billions, trillions, zillions. You understand what I'm saying? That's how it go. You feel what I'm saying? The man gave up $1 zillion. You feel what I'm saying? For his people, for his bloodline. Yeah, he should be protected. His people should be protected. He should be worshipped. He should be a king, a God amongst the world, not just the Jews, amongst the world. He is a model. He is an example of what Jesus said to the riches, to the wealth that was in Jerusalem. That man asked Jesus, how can I get into the kingdom of heaven? Jesus told him, you have to give it all up. You feel me? A camel can get through a needle, the eye of a needle, before you can. And that man was skinny. That man was, you know what I mean? I'm like 170 something. That man was probably like 150, 140. You feel what I'm saying? A camel probably about 300, 400 pounds, but the camel can get through first? Come on, man. Y'all don't understand the parable, the analogy of that, do you? You should. You should understand it. You feel what I'm saying? I caught it the first time I read it, and I said, man, that's something. But look, you with the Nasty Pastor, and this is a chapter read from out of Exodus, and we are on chapter 19, and the title of chapter 19 is Israel at Mount Sinai. In the third month after the children of Israel had gone out of the land of Egypt, on the same day they came to the wilderness of Sinai, for they had departed from Rephidim, had come to the wilderness of Sinai, and camped in the wilderness. So Israel camped there before the mountain. And Moses went up to God, and the Lord called to him from the mountain, saying, thus you shall say to the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel. Let's pause for a minute, and let's really process chapter 3. And Moses went up to God, G-O-D, and the Lord called to him from the mountain, saying, thus you shall say to the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel. Now, the reason I want to, pause right there, because I want to do some cross research and some cross referencing. If I believe that would be the right phrase, cross referencing of Stolen Legacy. Now, in Stolen Legacy, we're at the part of, we're talking about the gods, how one God threw out 4 body parts and turned it into 8 body parts. And see, Ptah is supposed to be the heel that they call God. But when we read this right here, verse 3, it says, and Moses went up to God, and the Lord called to him from the mountain, saying, thus you shall say to the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel. Now we know the Lord is considered the demiurge. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, Lord is considered the demiurge because see, Jesus is nowhere in the Old Testament. We're in the Old Testament. You feel me? So all of this go to the demiurge. All of the praises, the worshiping, the praying goes to the demiurge. Apologize. Not Jesus. Jesus is not in play yet. So I say this to you once again, you know what I mean? Process this. Even to you pastors that have, went and got your clergy, process this a little better. Because see, when I learned that you are giving a email to what to preach on Sunday, I knew then there are things you are not to touch in this holy Bible. You're never to touch it because you cannot process it. Not the right way. Not the right way, and your charter, your mother church will stand by you. You got what I'm saying? No, you're not to process it. Let's proceed. You have seen what I did to the Egyptians and how I bore you on eagle's wings and brought you to myself. Now therefore, if you will indeed obey my voice and keep my covenant, then you shall be a special treasure to me above all people, for all the earth is mine. Now, as I keep going, I'm doing some cross-referencing. You got what I'm saying? Now, we know the four elements is what? Fire, water, earth, wind, which is considered air. Fire, water, earth, air. Now, when we got to the demiurge, when we got to the part about the demiurge in Stolen Legacy, it said the demiurge threw out 4 body parts. And I mean, I got a little pissed and heated in here, started walking around trying to figure out what it was, right? Because it give you some and then it just cuts you off. And I'm in here like, what it is? Man, what the 4th one is? Get it, come on now. Come on, trying to figure it. And the only thing I could come up with is the 4 elements. You get what I'm saying? Fire would be your sun. Earth would be your planets. You feel what I'm saying? Air would be the atmosphere, and air would be the universe. You got what I'm saying? Water would be the ice, because there's water in our universe. You feel what I'm saying? When you take a ship and you take a rocket and you put it up in what is that, outer space, you know what I mean, the universe, it ices up. So that considers water, you feel what I'm saying? And there is H2O in our atmosphere. And our atmosphere is included with the outer space. You feel what I'm saying? Let's continue. But the reason why I'm speaking of that part, because it says, all the earth is mine. You feel what I'm saying? And it goes into now, therefore, if you will indeed obey my voice and keep my covenant, then you shall be, this part I was on. Now therefore, if you will indeed obey my voice and keep my covenant, then you shall be a special treasure to me above all people, for all the earth is mine. You get me? Got to be talking to the demiurge, right? Got to be. Look, let's get into verse 6. And you shall be to me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words which you shall speak to the children of Israel. So Moses came and called for the elders of the people and laid before them all these words which the Lord commanded him. Then all the people answered together and said, all that the Lord has spoken we will do. So Moses brought back the words of the people to the Lord. And the Lord said to Moses, behold, I come to you in the thick cloud, that the people may hear when I speak with you, and believe you forever. So Moses told the words of the people to the Lord. Then the Lord said to Moses, go to the people and consecrate them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their clothes. And let them be ready for the 3rd day. For on the 3rd day the Lord will come down upon Mount Sinai in the sight of all the people. You shall set bounds for the people all around, saying, take heed to yourselves that you do not go up to the mountain or touch its base. Whoever touches the mountain shall surely be put to death. Come on now. Come on now. Whew. I say this to you, you know, it's a harsh punishment, but I say it does show a hard-headed individual or hard-headed individuals in your congregation. You feel what I'm saying? Because if I'm telling you to explain this to these people and they still does this, then an example has to be made, right? For me to be taken serious, right? Cool. Not a hand shall touch him, but he shall surely be stoned or shot with an arrow. Whether man or beast, he shall not live. When the trumpet sounds long, they shall come near the mountain. So Moses went down from the mountain to the people and sanctified the people, and they washed their clothes. And he said to the people, be ready for the third day. Do not come near your wives. Then it came to pass on the third day in the morning that there were thunderings and lightnings and a thick cloud on the mountain, and the sound of the trumpet was very loud, so that all the people who were in the camp trembled. And Moses brought the people out of the camp to meet with God, and they stood at the foot of the mountain. Now Mount Sinai was completely in smoke, because the Lord descended upon it in fire. Its smoke ascended like the smoke of a furnace, and the whole mountain quaked greatly. And when the blast of the trumpet sounded long and became louder and louder, Moses spoke, and God answered him by voice. Then the Lord came down upon Mount Sinai on the top of the mountain, and the Lord called Moses to the top of the mountain, and Moses went up. And the Lord said to Moses, go down and warn the people, lest they break through to gaze at the Lord, and many of them perish. Also let the priests who come near the Lord consecrate themselves, lest the Lord break out against them. But Moses said to the Lord, the people cannot come up to Mount Sinai, for you warned us, saying, set bounds around the mountain and consecrate it. Then the Lord said to him, away, get down and then come up, you and Aaron with you. But do not let the priests and the people break through to come up to the Lord, lest he break out against them. So Moses went down to the people and spoke to them. That's the end of chapter 19. I say this, you know what I mean? You know, whom we pray to can be nasty, right? Who you are or who you was is a nasty person, right? You got some nasty ways in you, right? Who you get it from? You know, our DNA goes beyond our parents. You feel me? Goes beyond our parents. Beyond it. You get what I'm saying? There's a DNA, there's a trait, there's a line that reaches to the demiurge. You understand? You get it? Yeah, a line, a bloodline that reaches to the demiurge in all of us. When I say my mother is my sister, when I say my dad is my brother, we're talking a universal language that the imple-minded would never understand. They would never get that part of life. You get me? You understand me? Anywho, you've been with the nasty path, and this has been another chapter read of Exodus. I love you, and I'm out.